Birth rates have been dropping steadily across the country, but they're falling at a faster rate here in Texas. And that's raising new concern about the long-term impact in the state. Our Tom Miller spoke with a researcher at the Federal Reserve Bank in Dallas to dig into the reasons behind the drop and how it could affect the state's economy.
When it comes to the birth rate in Texas, why is it falling and what are the populations that you're seeing the biggest drop in?
The reason for it appears to be primarily that Hispanic women are having far fewer births than they did about 15 years ago. And because we have such a large Hispanic population, that affects us much more.
When you have these lower birth rates, what's the potential impact on the economy?
First and foremost, they affect the number of workers in the future labor force. So that impacts economic growth. But then also what we found is that younger workers are more productive and more, they're more innovative, really. We're going to have fewer workers relative to prior decades. And then also that we may have slower productivity growth.
We hear about all these people who are moving from where they're from and coming here to Texas. Does that potentially offset the declining birth rate when it comes to the economy?
So the way we've been able to sustain this growth, despite sort of the more rapid decline in the birth rate here, is through migration to the state. Whether it's international migration or domestic migration, we've seen so much migration that it's really offset some of the slower population growth that we're having innately in our state. Migration can reverse itself very quickly. It can stop, it can reverse itself. It's not something that that's not guaranteed to continue into the future.
Pia Arrhenius with the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tom.
The Dallas Fed report points out that birth rates usually fall when unemployment rises. For example, the nationwide drop in birth rates started during the 2007 recession. Early data shows the 2020 pandemic recession also coincided with a drastic drop in birth rates.
Governor Abbott amps up his push to remove what he calls obscene content from Texas schools.
Issues like the content of curriculum has become a flashpoint for conservatives who are likely to vote in primary.
We look closer at the governor's order and the potential political implications as the primary campaign heats up.
A tragedy that shouldn't have happened. And now we're going to talk about, okay, what should we have done to start with?
A new task force aims to change state policy after the deadly tragedy at a Houston music festival. How the results could affect concert fans in Texas.